Hi, my name is Jamie. Currently residing here at behaviour in rehabilitation. Originally from Stoke-on-Trent. Eldest of two. I've got a younger sister, mother. My father was unfortunately deceased. My childhood was all right. My mother is a fantastic mother. I had everything that she could possibly give me. She tried her best. I don't in no way blame anything in my childhood for what I eventually became. I saw bits and bobs of, as a bit of an argumentative household at times. My father was a gambler, he was a drinker at times, and he was a bit of a boy. And my mum, we used to row, but nothing serious. But used to see him coming and going on quite a regular occurrence. But like I say, I don't blame nothing about that. I had a pretty good school life at the beginning in primary school, until I went to a primary school in another area where we moved, and everything went a bit left from there. I got severely bullied by a group of lads, and it got to the point where they bullied me that bad I didn't even know who I was anymore. Within the space of about 18 months I was questioning myself all the time. I was just wanted to fit in so much. I just wasn't in the right place really. They made me question a lot of myself. There's verbal bullying, physical bullying, and in the end I had to leave that space and go back to my old primary school, which was, I can remember, was a bit of a trek for my poor old mother, but she did it out of the goodness of her own heart. I've got two daughters and one son who I love unconditionally, and they're the three reasons that I did at first come to this rehab, but I now know that I need to be here for myself, and that's why I'm here, due to the severity of my addiction and where it took me. I always drank to excess. I never socially drank. It was all or nothing. I drank to blackout. I didn't know what the hell was going on. I was aggressive. I was transgressive. I used to always bring up the past, especially the good times of the people who I've lost. Bereavement and loss has been a big part of my life. I haven't handled it at all very well. I spent a lot of time with my grandparents when I was growing up, and my grandmother was like a second mother to me. I love that woman with all my worth, and I saw the demise of Alzheimer's, dementia. That woman sung me to sleep from a very young age, man, and she just went in a very bad way. And I tried, man. I tried, and she died eventually, and that massively upset me. It really did. But now I know, obviously, she's at peace. But at the time, I did not gel with that. I did not take that on very well at all. My grandfather, he was the same. I grew up with my grandfather. He was like a male role model to me. He was a massive Catholic, very much involved in the church, very well-liked man, very well-respected man. And he passed away at a ripe old age, but that was upsetting also. But if I think back, there's a couple of areas I'll focus on in my life which personally I feel had the contributing factor to my addiction. I got severely beat up by six lads, very badly hurt, and it caused me to have PTSD, and it's since then I started noticing a massive change in my character. It was like split personalities and really aggressive outbursts. Verbally I changed. My motivation levels went in the bin. I was anxious, stressed. I really struggled with what happened after that. Yeah, but there was that, and I just never felt good enough through my life. I felt like a massive letdown to everybody, and obviously when my addiction got worse, that just got worse. I was always guilty. I was always thinking about the what ifs and the past, and I was just very transgressive, and all I wanted was to change the past, and I couldn't. And when I couldn't cope, I turned to the drink. It was always drink at first, but I started going out and I started taking MDMA and things like that. The cocaine come a bit later on in life, but that I would say that as my drug of choice. It got to the point where it went from a sociable usage to daily, and it destroyed me. It destroyed my wife, my marriage. I was unable to hold down jobs. I was just a shadow of myself. I used to cope, and it was really bad decisions. Made some really, really bad decisions that led me to a lot of loss. And it's me being here, I have come to realise that, because I always thought that I didn't really have an issue or an active problematic addiction until my father passed away. But thinking now, and since I've been going through the steps and doing the work here at Rachel, I've come to realise that my addiction has been active for a very long time, and I've been lying, I've been cheating, manipulating, and thinking that I'm doing people a favour by playing down my addiction, which I've done for so many years, be it towards my mother, my father when he was alive, my friends, other members of family at times, my wife, my ex-partner, who I've treated people in a not very good way at times, and I've come to realise that. But the cocaine use and the inability to control my usage started. My father committed suicide, and after that, the downfall began. I was racked with guilt, racked with I didn't do enough, racked with self-hatred, self-loathing, resentments towards people, which most of them don't even make no sense. I was making up things in my head, and I used that much I drank that much and did that many drugs I went insane, really. I went into like a drug-induced psychosis, and be all and end all, I did something which is massively against my morals, and I severely hurt somebody, and I ended up in jail for a period after I nearly ended somebody's life. It was very touch and go, and I was absolutely mortified. I've always been always thought I was a loving, compassionate, empathetical sort of man. I've looked after hundreds of people in my life, people, elderly people like with dementia, and people with brain injuries and special needs, special educational needs. And for me to become what I became, it sickened me. And I looked in the mirror, and there was many a times I didn't want to be here, and I've attempted suicide on multiple times. I nearly died of an overdose. I tried to hang myself. Numerous things. And I sat in a jail cell for 2 and a bit years, and I just, in the end, I was like, I can't deal with this no more. I've caused way too much harm to the people who I love unconditionally. My mother, my wife at the time, my children mainly. My life is just, as soon as my three beautiful things were born, I just felt like the happiest man in the world, and I ruined all that. I ruined a lot of things in my life. The trust. My mother, they didn't trust me. My mother just didn't know who I was. The mother of my daughters, who was one of my oldest friends, I don't think she even wanted, she hated the sight of me. People could become scared of me. I was unpredictable. I was aggressive in my mind and in my moods, and very flippant. And I just admitted powerlessness. And this is when I was in HMP Nottingham, and because I had to go back, I did 2 years in HMP Dovegate for quite a serious crime, and then I got out of there and relapsed pretty much straight away, drinking and cocaine, and I ended up getting recalled after an aggressive outburst at somebody who did not deserve it, who I love with all my heart, and I just, after that happened, I was like, wow, this is definitely got to be sorted. They took my children away from me, and that was it. After that, when they took my kids off me and social got involved, I was like, right, I'm done. This is the old me is leaving. That's it. So my mother sorted out for it to be done that I went straight from HMP Nottingham to behaviour here, this beautiful place, and I couldn't be more happier now. Really couldn't. The change in me, I've been in here for 13 and a half weeks about, and the change that I've undergone is unreal. But my ways of thinking, my self-worth, my self-esteem, my self-confidence is all massively skyrocketed. I was massively isolated before I came in here. I didn't have no social life really. I didn't want to know anybody because I was that ashamed of the person who I'd become. Now I'm surrounded by lads who actually think I'm alright. So, and I've got what I call some of them friends now, and it's a very loving, caring place to build yourself back up as a person. And yeah, if you're in need of anywhere to better yourself as a person and get rid of that addiction and fight against it, get yourself here, mate, because honest, it's changed my life, and it will continue to change my life for the love of my children, the love of my parents, the love of my grandparents, and nowadays the love of myself, because I never loved myself, and I do, well, getting there. Yeah, so I hope you take some wisdom from this or some advice, and if you're really struggling, get on the phone, give these lads a ring, or what, ladies, and yeah, all the best. Stay strong.